When Australian politicians talk about the Pacific solution, what they usually mean is the payment of quite significant amounts of money to Pacific Island nations, Nauru and Papua New Guinea, to accommodate asylum seekers intercepted by Australia. But part of the Pacific solution, and the reason why, for Australia, the Pacific solution worked in 2001, was New Zealand's preparedness to take quite a large number of people from the Tampa. And that was done not because they were being leaned on, but because the New Zealand government thought that they had an obligation towards Australia because Australia was its neighbour. They didn't get any money for it. So it is possible and sometimes, crucial that kind of assistance is rendered. So there's no reason why, that couldn't happen now in other circumstances as well.
And I think one thing to add is that sometimes there's a sort of anxiety about the costs of a more, of a policy that wasn't based on deterrence, that lots of people would be attracted to Australia, to the region, and that costs entailed in this kind of response would be overwhelming. And so there's a few things to say there. I mean, one is that firstly, if it's a collaborative international response, then the costs would be shared. But secondly, there seems to be a real underestimation of the cost of maintaining this offshore and deterrence framework. I always find one statistic really compelling here. In one financial year, the cost of just maintaining offshore detention, Australia's offshore detention regime, without including the costs of turnbacks or border patrols and everything else associated with the relevant budgets for this issue, so just the cost of offshore processing in one financial year was equivalent to 1/5 of the UNHCR's total operating budget for the entire world, right? 1/5, right? So just imagine what could be done if that kind of money was diverted, alongside contributions from other countries to an international approach to a more humane processing, asylum and resettlement scheme.